Very good to be able to share this with you, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding around the private markets, particularly around venture in Europe. Venture in the US is moving probably fast. It's a much larger market. And I think they've probably followed the public markets. There's been a bull run in the public markets now in tech for a number of years. We've seen the likes of Nvidia, as you mentioned earlier on. I think in the private markets, there is still a bit of a lag. The reality is that, as you said, between our core portfolio and our emerging portfolio, the core portfolio tends to be slightly later stage. The emerging, which is where a lot of the AI opportunities are much earlier. And the reality of venture is venture takes some time to work its way through. And so therefore, we're actually quite pleased that flat is the new growth in this environment, certainly in private markets. And so we're actually quite pleased that we've seen this stabilization, because valuations have been coming down over the last couple of years. So actually the balance that we've seen over the last 6 months, particularly the flat look of our portfolio, is actually, we think, quite positive.
To what extent is it now a stampede to get into the AI names? And they've come out of nowhere, and even at a recent tech event, I was trying to talk to every major player I could find to work out what were the next AI racehorses. So is it a stampede in that direction?
Yeah, there is an element of that. There's a lot of capital that wants to make sure that they're into the next Nvidia or the next Apple or Microsoft before the rush, of course. I think for us, we're much more about building businesses over time, and we think AI will have a huge impact on pretty much all of the businesses we invest in. We're a tech investor, and so therefore we invest in innovators and innovative companies that are building tomorrow's big businesses, and nearly all of them will use AI. But AI in itself is really a bit of a subsector. There's a lot of interest, as you quite rightly say there. I'm not going to use, maybe I shouldn't use the word bubble, but there is clearly a lot of interest in anything that's got AI attached to it. Whereas, of course, I think most of us, certainly in the tech world, knows, machine learning's been around for many, many years, and AI has made a lot of impact, and it will in the future. We think the biggest impact will probably not be those AI companies themselves. It'll be how AI applied across the whole tech stack. And that's what we're really excited about.
Give us an example in your portfolio of companies. I can see GraphCore, which is one I know there's a lot of excitement around. What are you excited around?
I think for us, it's more about what AI can do as far as driving the technology, being able to use data much more efficiently, being able to do many, many things, being able to be much more efficient. And so really across all of our businesses. So if you look at GraphCore or Nvidia, that's very much the computing level. Our view would be that the computing level is pretty much taken, or at least a lot of the work has been done. For us, it's more at the upper end of the tech stack as you start to get into models, as you start to use AI really to be able to change almost everything we do. So, for example, we have a drone delivery company that is about logistics, and they have an AI platform that allows them to manage the logistics. And so what's possible there now with the rapid development of AI is leagues ahead of what was available 2 or 3 years ago. We have deep tech companies in research, in health tech. And again, what's possible as far as managing data, as far as sifting data, understanding behaviors, all of that sort of stuff is leagues ahead of where it was even 5 years ago because of the application of AI. So for us, it's much more about how AI enhances technology and allows probably a lot of the routine stuff that we don't see. It's the AI that we don't see, I think really probably excites us more.
Yeah, my worry just becomes that, as we had for a large part of this market as well in equities, that you slap the word AI on anything and then all of a sudden it looks like a really viable prospect. How do you figure discernment in this time?
Yeah, look, we've definitely noticed a lot more founders pitching to us using AI language. Yeah. Fundamentally, it doesn't change what they do. We're interested in good and sensible businesses, and we're more interested in what AI can do for them. So I think one has to be careful. Certainly in our space, you have to be careful not to go after the latest craze, because we have to look through that. And as I said earlier on, we're building broadly enterprise-level companies that are fixing a lot of the efficiency, productivity, connectivity problems that we face through legacy technology systems. And with the application of data, much better processing, that's the AI we're interested in, how it can drive those changes. So I'm more into, we have a company in Germany that is doing logistics for sand and gravel. And you might say that sand and gravel AI opposite ends of the spectrum. In fact, their AI platform allows them to identify exactly what they need where. And from a logistics perspective, it's enabled them to be infinitely more productive. And that's where I think AI will have the really big impact. And that's sort of what we focus on. We're about building long-term good businesses. And AI for us is an enabler.
Yeah. Do you feel that British companies, startups in particular, struggle to scale up compared to their US counterparts as well? And why is that?
Yeah, I don't think they struggle to scale up necessarily. I think the problem is gaining access to capital. Maybe that's what you mean.
Sure.
And so, we still have in the UK. So the European venture market is a third of the US. UK is 50% of Europe, and despite Brexit, et cetera, it's getting stronger. So the startup ecosystem here is very, very good, and we're very excited about it. However, to your point, once particularly technological innovations come out of our leading academic institutions quite often, what tends to happen is that once they really take off, then the deep pockets are in the US, in the Middle East, and in Asia, and that's what tends to happen. Our challenge, and what we really want to do, is we want to create that that decacorn, which is a $100 billion business in Europe. And in order to do that, they have to have the capital here to be able to enable them to make that happen.
I think we're all